get right into it. And I wanted to do tonight's video on getting results, getting fitness results. And there's really three things I'm going to talk about. Of course, there's a lot of things that can help you get a fitness result, but three things, all starting with the letter T for some reason: time frames, tempos, and techniques. So I have a lot of experience working for a gym. It's now out of business, but when we were doing well, for you guys who are jumping on live, I'll talk about Trident, right? So we were doing these challenges, right? These 8-week challenges, 10-week challenges, right? These time frames. And I wanted to get everyone into the mindset of, if you're trying to accomplish a fitness goal, you need to go beyond the drudgery of, I got to go to the gym today. No, you got to go to the gym. You got to make this a long-term thing. So you have to have a program that's going to be sustainable, that you're going to be able to do every day, or 4 days a week, 4 to 5 times a week. So you have to change your mindset from like the one workout, like drudgery. Like there's ways to get past that, having accountability, having a team of people that you're going to go in and train with, and signing up for something, right? Sometimes when you pay the big sum of money, you're like, okay, it's time to really go hard on this, right? So think big, think at least 8 to 10 weeks of a training program to start seeing some results. It's a short enough time to where it doesn't seem like long years, but when you see that result for the first time, it's highly motivating, and then it makes you want to keep going. To add some numbers to this, one of the things that we used to say, and this is not medical advice or specific advice, I just give a disclaimer, but based on experience, we would see people lose between 2 to 3. So men and women would be a little bit different. So men would lose between 2 to 3 pounds of body fat each week, and women on average 1 to 2 pounds of body fat each week. So like having that in mind as a normalcy, as a potential way to measure a fitness goal, I think that's really important to say. And I still say that to people to this day, and people that I train to this day are already they tell me that they're losing those pounds. According to that, someone told me today they lost, like, they're down 3 to 4 pounds. They've been working out with me for about the whole month so far. Another way to look at it is strength gains, like doing 12 weeks of strength training. Like, you don't have to think about this at long term. Like, keep things short to start off. Inside of 12 weeks. For example, myself, I've been doing a fitness program for the past year and a half, subtracting 3 months from my overseas travel and certain other obstacles that came my way. But, I run on 3-week waves, of percentages, and my strength has been increasing on a steady rate. So I'm super proud of that. So you don't have to think really big for this at first. Keep things tight, okay? The next thing I want to talk about are tempos. And so when I think about a tempo, for example, okay, take the bicep curl, right? I can do bicep curls like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, do a bunch of them, right? But how much time under tension am I getting by just doing 10 reps or 15 reps, okay? That's okay to do that. It's fine to do depending on your training. Maybe you need more fast twitch muscle fiber for a sport or something. But don't always think about doing the high reps. You can also think about doing tempos. If I do 5 reps of the bicep curl and I do 3 seconds up and 3 seconds down, then that's only 5 times the joint had to actually move, right? But because I did that 3 seconds up and that 3 seconds down, the muscle got 6 seconds of time under tension for 5 reps. So that's potential 30 seconds of time under tension on the bicep, and that applies to any muscle group in the body. Whereas if I do 15 or 10 bicep curls and the curl takes a second to do because I'm going so fast, or half a second, then I'm getting 15 seconds of time under tension as opposed to 30 seconds of time under tension. So sometimes you need to reverse the way you're thinking. Sometimes things move in inverse. And Sometimes you might stick with a tempo move for 3 weeks and then move to doing something at a faster tempo for 3 weeks just to switch things up a little bit. And I really love it because, I had a little epiphany today as I was watching somebody do a row today, and I'm going to demonstrate actually. So if I'm going to do a row, right, pulling a weight up, I don't have any weight right now, but this is a back exercise. I'm not in the best of form right now, but if I'm going to pump out rows, whew, boom, 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 really fast, what might be happening is, and if this all came to me today, the more I see people do a single exercise, is like when you start generating the momentum, you start losing the tension in some of the upper portion of the movement. So sometimes you might think about, oh, I'm going to do 10 reps, 15 reps, and you're thinking about the number of reps you're going to do, but really you want to think about the speed that you're doing each single rep. Whereas if I can generate a lot of power in this initial movement, then the row's going to move easily, right? Because that power helped me move the row. Now again, you might be training for power depending on what your goals and objectives are. Like an athlete, sometimes a fighter or a football player, you need more explosive power. But when I tell my general population clients, people who are just looking for everyday fitness, slow it down, because if I go slow here, then this portion of the movement where I'm coming up is continuing to move slow. So those muscle fibers that are responsible for continuing the motion, because we're moving slow, they're getting more time under tension. Whereas with the momentum, sometimes the weight might just be moving up and down just based off that power of that you generate at the bottom. So slow it down. If that makes any sense. I need to articulate that point and dive into it a little bit better. It happened to me today when I was thinking about it. So that's your tempos, right? The third thing I'm going to talk about are your techniques. Okay, so let's pick one move, right? The squat. And I'm picking a squat because a squat is a full body exercise. And if I had to pick one exercise for you to do to get full body strength and conditioning, it would be a squat. Because 9 times out of 10, you're holding a weight with the upper body. So you're getting upper body isometric tension and then lower body dynamic movement, all right? In other words, the whole body is responsible for making the squat happen, even your back. There are 3 ways, like there's actually a multitude of ways to do a squat, but I'm going to pick 3 things, 3 different techniques, right, that you can do a squat with. And I'll explain them and then dive further into them in future videos. But the first thing is a Trx Suspension Trainer. It's a thing where you have the strap up here, or the bolt up here, and the strap comes down, and you hold on to these 2 handles. And then as you're squatting, you can brace yourself on the handles. It allows you to get into the depths of the squat while having the safety of pulling yourself back up if you need to, right? So that's one way to do a squat. The second way to do a squat is to do a box squat, or in other words, sitting down to a chair. I actually am finding that a lot of my clients with knee issues like this, because to sit down into the squat and then stop and then come back up, that's stopping, that breaking, that pause of the force. You have to redirect the force of going down, pause, and then push yourself back up. That can add a lot of stress on people's knees, I've noticed. So what I like is when you sit down, let's say this is the chair, and you sit your butt down to the chair, you can take that little rest. Now sometimes your upper body will rock back and then come forward, and then you get a little bit of that momentum. Now the momentum does make it easier to come back up out of the squat, but it's negligible, and people are getting really good workouts. So this is just another way to do a squat, which again might be for you. But again, I'm not giving specific fitness advice here. Of course, you've got to listen to your body, and there's lots of different knee issues out there. And then, of course, the third way to do a squat with a barbell, right? And then the barbell can be loaded up front, in the back, depending on your shoulder mobility. But when you're getting the barbell on your back, there's just something about having that straight resistance right on your back. Now, I don't do back squats all the time because of the compression on the spine, but sometimes you can get the bar up front and get a front squat. You can get in the elbow crease and get a Zercher squat. And you don't have to use a bar either. You can use a kettlebell. You can use sandbags, a med ball. There's tons of things that you can hold to just do your basic and standard squat. All right, so I'm gonna cut it there. Obviously, fitness there's a lot to it, lots of science, but those are just 3 T's that you can keep in mind. Your time frames of your training, think more long term for body fat loss and strength gain. The tempos, how fast are you doing the reps and how slow are you doing the reps based on your goals, what's best for you. And then 3, your techniques. A squat, for example, has many different ways you can do it, as would a deadlift, a push-up, a row, or a lunge. So those are just some things to keep in mind. Hope you live legendary and gain greatness in your workouts. Peace out.